But what are some of the lessons learned from that victory?
From that victory with Chris Lieben, it was more of just, going back to what you're good at and not falling out of context of your strength. I was trying to be this complete fighter, but I just did it wrong, and I strayed away from my strength, basically, what I was really good at, which is my stand-up game and my level of picking someone apart and just dismantling them in that region. I was very successful at that before, but I just felt like I went away from it, and it just felt good to go back to that.
Why do you think you went away from it, though? Because the whole, if you look at the barometer of Uriah Hall, it was killer, all-good fighter, and then, hey, what's going on here? What's happening? Okay, now he's back. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of this weird.
Yeah.
So what happened there that made you not stick to that game plan?
I mean, a lot has happened over the year, over the success of the Ultimate Fighter. I learned a lot from that show. I was explaining to someone last night that I perform a lot better in the house because there was no crowd. There was a lot of people running around. There was no big stage lights, and it was just a positive environment. So it helped me a lot, and I just guessed that it just got overwhelming for me, and I didn't know how to handle it. And in my mind, in the UFC, you have to be good at everything. The grappling, the wrestling, the kickboxing, and to put it all together. So I just felt like I was doing it the wrong way. I was just trying to be this wrestler, this grappler, this kickboxer, and trying to mesh it in. And I failed, and I failed twice. But the thing with me is, when I fail something, I'm very quick to get up right away and try again. And in those midst of that time, a lot of people try to tell you you're not good. And, it's all about ignoring that and focus on what you're good at and you yourself as an individual. And I did that. So I'm kind of glad it happened because it taught me a lot as an individual, as a martial artist. And I'm just looking to move forward, man. I'm excited.
One of my favorite parts of the season was when they isolated yourself in Chael and the mental game of fighting. Because people, the fan base, look at the warrior aspect. This guy's a killer, this guy's a knockout artist, but they don't understand the stress involved of what it takes to step into a cage, thousands of people in an arena, millions watching worldwide. You're not at a bar. To get into a fight.
Exactly.
And you're fighting somebody who's trained just as long as you to knock your head into the second row. That's mind games personified. And I liked how I know there was haters out there, and I'm like, you guys don't know what Uriah is going through right now. Yeah, he's a killer, but it's not easy.
It's not.
How have you developed your mind game to build that sort of combat mentality that this is what I need to do for those 15 minutes?
I guess going back on the show, and Chael just kept telling me that it's not really about the outcome. I don't really have any control of that. It's more of the performance, and I just kept thinking about winning, and I'm forgetting the enjoyment of it, the competitive side of it. And I think that I allowed that to dictate a lot in my past, and it just not let me perform. And now it's just more of, I hear people say, why you're such a nice guy. What the hell are you doing in UFC? Why are you fighting if you don't like to hurt people? And, I went back and I asked myself, like, why am I doing this? And, one of the best quotes I heard from Les Brown is, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And it's something I was struggling with, because if I had listened to all these people, I would have been like, oh, maybe I should quit. I shouldn't be doing this. But I love the competitive side of it. And even though I look across the ring knowing that that person is here to kill me, that's fine. I don't really have that mentality to kill him, but I'm gonna, what I want to do to an opponent is to make him leave the ring saying, why am I doing this? And man, that guy was really good or better than me. I enjoy that more. I don't have that side, and maybe for the whole world, they're all looking at that barbaric, ooh, in your face. I don't have it. And for a long time, I was like, I needed that, but I don't. I don't need it. And what's wrong with being a little different?
Exactly. Thank you. So you basically took the next question out of my mouth, because there was a point in some of the Dana scrums when Dana's like, nah, he's lost his killer instinct. I'm like, fighters don't lose their killer instinct, Dana. It just, there's every day, every fight's different. One thing I've learned knowing George over the years, St. Pierre over the years, is it's not the best fighter that had the best training camp.
Right.
It's not the best fighter that wins. It's the best guy on fight night. One thing can go wrong. It could be
Yeah.
girlfriend, it could be kids. It could be one thing, and that dude that should be, minus 500 favorite, on his night.
Yeah.
So, Jacob and I were talking, my producer and I, we're taken aback a few times, and it's like he's lost his killer instinct. No, it's not. So, when it comes to a killer instinct, in essence, finishing a fight, knowing when that opponent is on the verge of, you know what, I got to go in there and finish him off, is that something you tap into automatically, or is it something that has to be registered to the point where it's like, it's not happening yet, I'm not doing it yet, I'm not doing it, damn, now I'm in the second round, damn, now I'm in the third round. You know what I'm saying? How do you tap into it?
It's hard to say because you're thinking on your feet. So, like for instance, the last fight I had with Chris Lehman, I felt like, okay, that first round didn't do so much, but I figured out what he was bad at. And, I kept moving and I kept hitting because I'm not going to stand there and do what he does great, which is bang. So I was like, all right, I'm going to move, I'm going to look for openings and stuff. And what I was trying to do, I was trying to lure him in because he kept throwing that power hand, but every time he did it, he would wind up. So I waited for the right opportunity, and that happened at the end. So I was like, all right, I'll get another chance. I found his opening. And, he quit on the stool for whatever reasons. But, again, it's hard for me to explain that side because, and it's still something I'm learning. I feel like this is the Harvard of mixed martial arts, and I'm just still building myself. And I want to do it the right way. And there's a lot of critics, there's a lot of this and that, but it's like a racehorse, man. You got to have your blinders on, and you just got to focus on what's important. And I know myself, I'm going to be the champ one day, and I just think it's earning the rights, building my way up properly, and not being one of these guys who, like for instance, I don't like to trash talk or call people out. I don't know how to do that. It's not me. In the martial arts way that I was brought up, it was all about respect. And like I said, I knocked someone out, I'd be like, hey man, you okay? That's why I was choked up when I knocked Adam out. But I just want to do it the right way. And that's it.
There's an art of breaking an opponent.
Yeah.
There's also the frustrating portion of an opponent who just won't go away. How do you deal with that? What's the motivation when you realize, or even when you're in trouble in a fight, to the point where it's like, okay, the goal is to break him, because once I break him, I'm going to win the fight. Okay, this guy's not going away. Holy smokes, I'm throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him. He's not going away. Or, oh man, I'm going to lose this fight. Like, how do you stay to that point where it's like, I'm not tapping here, he's not catching me with that right hand?
Well, you know what? Some people are different. Some people go out there and they're like, all right, I'm losing, I got to knock this guy out. Me, I think it's just all about keeping that clear mind. It's like you said, you're in front of that big stage and there's a lot of expectations. And like, for instance, if you go in and the crowd start booing, you're like, I got to pick it up. Screw them, man. They're not paying my bills. I'm there for me. So in the midst of all that, I just think it's having a clear head, and I used to hear that quote from Bruce Lee, like water. And for years, I couldn't figure that crap out. I'm like, is it really water? Like, what does it have to do with water? And it's about like allowing yourself to be in that environment for that moment and not letting anything distract you. So the best way I can answer that is just having a clear mind and not letting anything distract you. So even if you're doing bad, you have to pick it up. You do it, but you don't let it overwhelm you to say, oh man, I'm not winning, to a point where it takes away from your element. It's all about just staying composed. And like champions like Jones and St. Pierre and Anderson, they do that really well, man. Chris Weidman as well too. So I'm just trying to get to that level.
The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Hell yes, I will do it again.
Really?
I think I'm the only one that said I'll do it again.
There was a couple guys that have told me over the years.
Oh yeah?
Again. But 6 weeks in the house, no woman, no, it's kind of like...
Hey, I can separate all that. I remember when the first time they saw women, they were like... But for me, in the training aspect of it, just to be in that environment and all you can do is focus on training as a martial artist, I think that's golden, man. To get better, to have no distractions, to have unlimited training, to have a healthy access to food and nutrition or a doctor's expenses or whatever, that's perfect. I'm just looking at the elevation standpoint of it. Yeah, it's isolated and there's drama, but seeing what I learned from the last season is to, again, focus on what's important, which is the tournament, and try to avoid the drama. It's still going to be there. You're still going to have people doing stuff, and that's what people don't understand. Like, in a room like this where just no other thing to do, stuff will happen to you. Like me and Kevin Casey were playing a game of checkers, and a game of checkers became serious. So it's like when you have nothing else to do, then you have your thoughts, man. It will, you know, stuff will just happen like that. Everything becomes sensitive. But the world's watching, and, you know, editing can become something else. So it's how you portray. But when your friends know who you are and your family know who you are, why am I going to prove myself to you for?
What advice would you give to someone, a teammate? Hey, Uriah, they just picked me for the Ultimate Fighter. What do I need to know? I mean, I'm going to be trapped in 6 weeks. What do I need to know? What's the advice you would give to somebody?
I would tell them to, again, focus on what's important. It's not the Ultimate Friends. It's the Ultimate Fighter. You know, stay away from the distractions. Don't, you know, I didn't drink on the show at all. And again, the martial arts background I came from allowed me to have that discipline and, you know, do what's right. But again, there's always temptation, you know, and your mind is one of the biggest things that will, it's like prison, man. When you have your thoughts, it will either get the best of you or you'll start to figure things out. And that's what it did for me. I started to figure things out. And, you know, what really helped me is writing stuff down. It's like a good therapy in that sense of distraction, just writing stuff down. Something on your mind, write it down. Because outside the world, when something's bothering you, you go distract yourself on the phone, video game, or something. But if you write it down, it's like therapy. Now you release it. So those are the advice I would give them.
You had a opponent locked down for the next fight yet?
No, I don't actually. I'm a little bit injured from the last fight, a little bit in my back. So I'm just trying to recover. I'm itching to get in there. I'm trying to listen to doctors. Don't fight yet, blah, blah, blah. But
don't.
Yeah.
I saw it with George. Don't.
Yeah. I'm listening. I'm chilling. I'm going to do it the right way. Yeah, I'm doing that. But I want to get in there, man. Like I see like my buddy Kelvin's fighting. I'm getting excited, you know. I want to get back in there and elevate.
That was a nice picture that was posted by Kelvin. You see it on Twitter? Or the UFC account? It was you, Bubba.
Oh, yeah.
And Luke.
And Luke, yeah.
How cool was that?
That's cool, man. That was fun. You know, UFC invited me down here, and I was excited, and I heard he was fighting, so I was like, I'm here if you need me. You know, we rolled a little bit. I was hanging out with him, cutting the weight. You know, he was like a little brother of the team, and we always helped him in like cutting weight and stuff like that. So it was cool. Bubba was there, and Luke came in to help him out too. But Luke was here for Thor, but I think Thor's fight got canceled. So, you know, besides all that, we're not all animals, man. We're friends. Because a lot of people are like, you guys are hanging out together? It's just funny.
Who's the craziest dude? Crazy or the funniest? Or
now, when you say crazy, like...
I guess more the, not the party guy, but it's like, you're the character, the best character on that show. It's just like, you're nuts. What are you doing?
I would say probably the best character on that show would be probably Gilbert. Gilbert was like an instigator, but he would just do random things like wear his underwear or be naked. We're like, dude, what are you doing, man? But you know what? Again, you're in the house and then got nothing to do. You know, maybe you're looking for publicity or whatever. But he was a cool character, man. I like that guy. He's cool.